Hello, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I have been gone for a little while, uh, but that was due to me writing and finishing and publishing my fourth book, The Blacksmith. Here it is, for all of you who haven't seen it yet. And the subtitle to that is Life Does Not Get Better by Chance, It Gets Better by Change. And so I was busy doing all that and publishing it and marketing it and that sort of thing, and doing radio interviews and newspaper interviews, TV, and all that sort of stuff. So today, I want to start talking about um, what actually is in my fourth book. And so one of the things that I did was I made it like a 4-step game plan to go forward with my life once I healed. And because now everything was wide open to me, so I need to take that next step and move forward with it. And so we're going to talk about my 4 steps to begin a journey of healing, developing spiritually, and attaining your dreams. So there's 2 quotes that I want to read you, and that sort of sum up what we're going to talk about. And the first quote, that's in my 3rd book, The Sword and the Anvil, a definitive guide for natural healthy healing from post-traumatic stress and trauma. And that quote is, without mental health, there can be no true physical health. And that quote was from Dr. Brock Chisholm, who was the Director General of the World Health Organization in 1954. And that's true. Without the proper mental health, you can't have good physical health, because they're both intertwined. And if you're stressed out, your body's leaching vitamins, you're producing cortisol, you're not sleeping, all these things contribute to poor physical health. So I'd like to take it one step further, though, because I believe there are actually 3 parts to becoming healthy again and becoming a complete whole human being. And there's a quote that I'd like to read that relates to that, and that is, without developing spiritually, there can be no development physically. And that's by Mark Twain. So you can kind of see the picture here where it all starts with your mental health, which is tied to your physical health. And then in order to develop further and progress with your life, there needs to be, at least I found with me, there needed to be a spiritual component in that. And we'll get into a little bit more what I mean by that. And that's going to be a little bit different for everybody, obviously. So we're going to go over my 4 steps. And number 1 is to release your past. And so you need to use some sort of creative ability to release it in a healthy way. Whether it be writing, like I did, or playing the guitar, singing, drawing, painting, exercise, even whatever it is, whatever your passion is, that's what your creative passion is. That's what you use, or at least that's what I used to release my memories in my past. And so what you have when you're dealing with post-traumatic stress or any sort of trauma or anxiety is emotionally charged memories. And so what I learned that I had to do was release the emotional charge from the memory, so it just became a memory, and hence it no longer could control me. So I took away the power of that memory, because your brain is amazing, and there's lots of things that you just won't forget. But if it doesn't have that emotional charge to it, it couldn't control me anymore. And so I did that. A good example of that is my book A Line in the Sand, which was my very first book, and that's about my childhood and the war and everything that I went through and how I actually ended up getting post-traumatic stress and sort of what I went through. And my second book, The Chrysalis, was written right after that, and it's in conjunction with that. So both of those really show how I went through what I went through, how I got PTSD, and then when I started going through treatment, what that was like. And the second book, The Chrysalis, relates to the second part of my plan, which was to release the emotional charge from your memory so they no longer control you. And that's what I did through those two books. And so they're really sort of done concomitant with each other at the same time. But I did break them down to 2 steps for myself, just to make it easier for me to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, and so I could understand it better. That's just how I work. The third one is, then what I did is I moved on to build a foundation of health, both mentally and physically, to help propel me forward in life and in the attainment of my goals. So I developed a 13-step foundation to healing, and that is in my book, The Sword and the Anvil, in great detail. And again, all of this can be found on my website, robertsorakijr.com, in much more detail. And so those 13 steps talk about every little step that I took to move forward and get healthy again and heal my post-traumatic stress. But there's 3 main things that go with that. That's eating properly, getting plenty of water, hydration, and then the third thing was some form of exercise. So, and I'm not saying I didn't go out and like try to run a marathon right off the bat or anything like that. It was more or less just trying to incorporate these things into my life little by little and making them a habit. And then it would replace the bad habits that I had. And there's going to be a future video about exercise and how easy it is to incorporate it just into your regular daily routine. But we'll go into that in more detail in a later video. But it really is quite simple to just get up, and you're basically just trying to stay moving, be active, even if it's just around your house. So that was step number 3. Step number 4 was to reconnect the mind and body by using your intuition to guide your life's work and help you attain your dreams. And so my intuitions really was like my gut feeling. So I taught myself to trust it, and I started following it. And that's what I mean by that. But I did 4 different things to accomplish that, and that's all in great detail in The Blacksmith. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go over it briefly. So the first thing I conducted was a life events analysis. I analyzed every single major event of my life, and I studied it. And then the next step that I took was I conducted a dream analysis. So what I did is I kept a journal by my bed, my nightstand, with a pen. I woke up in the middle of the night, I wrote it down. I did that because I didn't want to have to worry about trying to remember it in the morning. And I've done that for many years. And it's a tool that we have that we can access, that's given to you, it's free to use. So I figured I was going to use it. And so I did. The third thing that then, which is kind of an obvious step, is I incorporated what I learned from both of those 2 analyses into my so-called physical life. And so that becomes a pretty powerful tool, both of those things. And and you're using your gut, your intuition, as I like to call it, to help guide you as well. So you're incorporating all 3 of those things in there. So you have guidance, you have information you're obtaining from your dreams, which they're yours, right? I found out, okay, they're my dreams. They're just me. I figured out who I was internally, because when I had post-traumatic stress, one of the biggest things was I just didn't know who I was anymore. And these 3 things helped me to figure that out. And then I also, through that process, I sort of identified and made contact with what I call my higher self. And that, i.e. my intuition, my dreams, all those sorts of things, my physical and mental aspects of myself, and that helped me to eliminate all of the bad habits and patterns and routines that I had, and replaced it with good ones. Um, it allowed me to identify my true self and my personal goals in life, and sort of what I like to call my purpose here on earth. Um, and then I basically move forward with that and use it to this day. So, in other words, basically what I did is I actualized um, my goals and my dreams, more or less. And I still do that today. With everything I do, writing books, videos, interviews, um, and every other else thing that I do. There's lots of things. I'm quite busy, so that sort of sums up what I wanted to talk about today. So I hope that you like this video, and please share it with others that you think could benefit from it and might inspire them. And like I said, there'll be more videos coming out related to this book and other things. So please stay tuned, and I will see you all next time. And don't forget to like the video, share it. All my contact information and all that is in the drop down window, so go ahead and check that out. And don't forget to go check out my website, robertsorakijr.com, and go see everything I have there, all my videos, all my interviews, radio, newspaper, TV are all there. There's a bunch of information about me and my work. My books are there. And I also have a media page with all kinds of photos and things of everything that I've done and been through. So, see you all soon, and have a great day. I'm out.